In the previous episode, I completed the first half of my 14-day passage from Mauritius to South Africa, the half for which the weather predictions were reliable when I was leaving Mauritius, and I used them to get to the south of Madagascar. Here I continued towards Richards Bay as my check-in port, but now having to take whatever weather came our way. After running south overnight in the northeast wind, we eventually turned west on starboard jibe. This 30-minute video covers a 30-hour period from November 5th to 6th, with explanations of my preparations for rough overnight sailing and avoidance of ships. It's Tuesday, the 5th of November, and we're being chased by the squall at dawn here. But we have pretty nice conditions, medium wind, and we had a really good sail last night. Goodness me, really fast downwind sail. Jib pulled out to port and mainsail prevented out to starboard, and we have a very pretty morning. Lovely pink clouds, and I may need a bit more sail. We've got third reef here, storm, and then side jib. Sea change looking very colourful in this light. Pretty. Sailing on starboard is relatively unusual for us, and I set up the port bunk with its lee cloth for the night. Well, it's turned into an absolutely gorgeous day. Nice medium strength northeasterly breeze. We are trying to sail due west, and that's a broad reach and very difficult to do with the sails all on port. So firstly, I have the jib at triple reef, which makes it, the mainsail, which makes it nice and small. I have the full jib, which is good for a broad reach for pulling you. And most importantly, I have the storm jib pulled out to starboard. And what that does is it stabilizes the boat really nicely. It allows the wind pilot to steer easily. It stops the boat from hunting up. It feeds the wind into the jib so the jib doesn't collapse and bang back full. And in every regard, it's a huge advantage of having a cutter. And I love it. It's midday now. Simply gorgeous out here. You could not ask for a more beautiful day. The sea is cobalt blue, the sky is clear, and we're down to our new fourth reef, hanging in there nicely. Thanks to Shane's wife Mary Larson for helping put that in. I did reinforce it a little bit. I've got 2 extra straps in addition to the one we put in, but it's hanging in there. But it won't be up for long. Soon take it down, then just the storm jib, and I'll fill the main jib a whole lot more. And tonight it'll be one or the other, because it's going to be seriously strong tonight. Oh, we're anticipating pretty rough conditions tonight. Nothing we haven't experienced before. But as part of this passage to South Africa, in case I got caught in a real storm or a horrible front, which may yet happen in a couple of days, I prepared several items which I thought I'd show. The first is to show you what I've done with the wind pilot controls. Firstly, sometimes the tiller kicks up and throws the chain off, so the tiller is held down now by a bungee cord. And then the chain itself is held in with a quick tie, quick release. And I've got a little pulley system now with a continuous line for controlling the direction of the wind vane. But the big items are my warp. This is the huge warps that I've set up. They are arranged to go on this bridle, the 3-ply bridle, nylon bridle here, which is my anchor bridle, which goes to this big eye. This grayish rope on the right is the mooring line that's the very end of the warps. This white line over here goes over and to the side, and that's a steering line to be able to steer the warp to the side if need be, and also a retrieval line. The first item that will go overboard is this dive weight here with a bunch of chain, and it is connected here to also a nylon rope polypropylene with a float so that I can see where the whole thing is, and that's connected to this monster knot, which is the first real item to go out, and then all the rest of this, beach fines and my mooring lines and various other lines I've acquired over the 3 years, will all stream out, and they're all going to go out through here after I throw the bridle over the edge, over the back of the top of the wind vane. It's suspended right now with yarn. The wind vane, by the way, is converted now to the more robust plywood vane. This is the German one in honor of Peter Forsman, the designer, builder, seller, and supporter and sustainer of Pacific Wind Pilot. And then on this side is the Jordan Series drogue. It's all set up in its bag. It's tied down right now. That's the bridle connection there. The bridle again would go over the top of the wind vane. And on this end, on this thimble, would go an anchor chain of some kind. I've got a 50-foot and I've got my dinghy anchor. And in a moment I'll show you how the bridle is attached. Just to add, for deployment, that bag, that mesh bag, is unrolled all the way down here, attached at various points with straps that it has on it, and that keeps the bag here, and the Jordan Series drogue then streams out through that gap over there. The Jordan Series drogue has a very long bridle, and I'm able to attach it all the way up to the side cleats here, which are the most sturdy cleats on the boat, and then it's led all the way back of the boat. And here at the back of the boat, the Jordan Series drogue bridle, which comes down here, it goes through the gap in the stern teat. It doesn't attach to the stern teat. That's just to keep it under control so it doesn't flail around. The anchor bridle that's going to hold the warp, it is attached to the stern teat. Now it's 2 o'clock now and things haven't gotten much stronger. Still got the same sail setup. In fact, if anything, a little weaker. But big bank of clouds on the northwestern horizon here, moving in, I think indicates what's to come. Basically, there's a low pressure system over the tip of Madagascar, southern tip of Madagascar, and it is interacting with this high pressure system that we're riding the top edge of, and the two are combining, the clockwise of the low and the anti-clockwise of the high, to give us effectively a Maramoon tonight and tomorrow. So we're going to be on the edge of that Maramoon, not in the middle of it, I hope. So I think we'll be okay. We've been through 3-4 Maramoos already. Well, just in case we do have rough weather in the next couple of days, thought I'd show you around the cabin and what I've prepped. This is all my kite surfing gear back here, plus my toilet equipment and a life jacket that I would wear. It's got a PLB in it, along with this kite surfing harness in case I need to go forward and deal with a problem. This is my ditch bag. It has a knife attached to it somewhere, and that can be used to cut the lanyard to the life raft if that's needed. This fender over here goes on top of the fridge to jam it underneath the chart table, which amazingly is almost completely clear. Christina will be amazed. Only 2 essential items, the Iridium and my iPhone SE that has all my Spotify music on it, that goes through this JBL speaker here, and that's to drown out the noises. Just while I'm here, there's my monster spotlight. That is a searchlight, my EPIRB that I would take with me, my new fire extinguisher, my sailing knife in case something needs to be cut, glasses, lamps, etc. I now have black towels bungeed onto all the portholes, so when they leak they just make them a little wet. There of course is the VHF with its AIS screen that is just 2 presses away. 1, whoops, 2, 3, and there we go. Got some bloomin' boats in our way. Well, ships. Anyway, don't use the chart plotter anymore, but this is very important. My night light. Over here is my normal bunk. This is the starboard bunk where I normally sleep, but now we're going to be on starboard tack, so we need to be in the port bunk. Got everything packed away tightly. Got my special life jacket in case I have to actually get in the water. Variety of clothes. And then on the front, let's see, in the V berth, pretty much just everything's packed away tightly. I've got the sail cover over the cushions so that if water does come through the hatch here, they don't get soaked as usual. Some fenders and other stuff all tied down, they can't move. Got a fender tied across the door here so the toilet door, the head door can't open. And then over here, got the 2 motors. This one is secured to the table. That one is down below and tied down in a variety of ways. My tool bag is accessible but tied down. And this is the port side bunk. This is set up for tonight and the next couple of nights. It's very nice and comfortable. I have my water spray towel which will hang fully down. That stops water coming through here from getting me and waking me up, but I have a tent on top so we shouldn't have much of a problem. But it'll also form a protection for my head in case something does come loose on the starboard side and hit me. And we'll skip over the messy galley. It's all as usual. Not sure I've shown this properly yet, but just for the sake of it, here are all the flags of the countries we've been to so far. Panama at the end there, French Polynesia, Fiji, Tonga, and then here's New Zealand, New Caledonia with its 2 flags, French and the Kanak one, and Vanuatu. I've yet to add the Australian and other flags on the other side. Anyway, let's go outside and take a look around out there. The outside here, we have the life raft. It's just barely strapped down. It's so heavy, it could only move in a rollover. And just a quick release to get it going. It's next to the gate here because it's so heavy I can barely move it. This is the tent covering the central hatch. I have my sail ties here ready to go on the main later tonight when I take the main down. Up here are the various petrol, diesel, water containers, and they are all doubly strapped down. Make sure they don't come loose. Not that it would be a big deal, but it's bloody annoying when they rattle and slide around. And the dinghy, of course, is securely tied down 4 different ways, so it's not going anywhere, nor is my kayak up here. And I'm not sure I can get across to this other side, but basically just 2 more jugs of diesel over there. Otherwise it's all much the same. The ladder over there is well secured. You don't want that coming loose. The other thing you don't want coming loose is the anchor, and so that is well secured with the strap. We are ready for rough weather, more ready than I've ever been before, because in the past it's always just kind of happened. There's our flags flying proudly. Weather still hasn't really built up yet. It's still coming. I mentioned the AIS earlier. I thought I'd go through how I actually use it. It's an icon of some kind. So there's the normal setup. That's when you're calling. It shows your speed and direction and your longitude and latitude and stuff, good stuff like that, and the time. And the channel, that's 16. We're always on 16. That's the emergency channel and the channel you use to contact people. So we want to go to AIS, hit menu. It's already on AIS, we hit enter. And here we go, we want the plotter so we can see who's around. And actually it's on 24 now, normally it would be 36. So here's our problem child, this one in front of us here. So let's select that one and see its details. So you'll see it's a Class A V8 AIS. That's the strongest kind, that's what ships have. A signal that can be received far away. That's its MMSI number. That's a unique number given to every one of these VHFs or AIS devices. And its name is very important, Marin Athena, so that you can call them up by name, give them a hard time. And then there's 11 screens with information. It's registered in Greece. Call sign, a little funny, sucks, no, SVCK5. IMO number, that identifies the actual ship. This is important. This is the closest possible approach, is currently about 6 miles, so we're pretty safe with this guy. And about 50 minutes until that time to closest possible approach, so we're not too worried about him. We will keep an eye on him. This is his longitude and latitude and his speed over the ground, so doing 11.5, about twice what we're doing. And importantly, his course, 61 degrees. That all makes sense from the screen initially. I don't know what most of this is, but range is important, 15 nautical miles away. And bearing's important. That is our bearing to him, so if our course is different from that, we're unlikely to hit him, which is good. I don't know what that is. These are some dimensions of the ship, but they give them again here. It's length 336, so 1,000 feet or more. Beam 60 meters, draft 20 meters. That's a big ship. What is it? It is an oil tanker of some kind. And its navigation status, underway using engine. Yes, yes. Destination, China. QD, I don't know, Qingdong, something like that. And it's ETA, November 26th. It's got quite a while to go. I mean, it's November 4th or 5th now. And, whoa, just got hit by a wave. I wonder if you heard that. Anyway, done with all of that, we go back to our normal screen so we can hear if anybody's calling us and we can call him. Oh, we're coming near the end of the day on Tuesday, November the 5th. Election day in the USA. Out here it's a lot more tranquil. We're still doing 5, 6, 7 knots, very nice, with fourth reef, storm jib, half the regular jib. And you can see we're on a broad reach here, almost dead downwind. And we have waves are forming up, they're getting into rows, but they're not very big yet. Here's one that's a little bit bigger. It doesn't show on camera, it looks trivial. Now, it gave us a nice little surf. Oh, that's such a lovely feeling, that little surf. Anyway, I still have my fishing lines out. Take those in at dark. And these solar panels, the auxiliary solar panels, they'll come down. And they'll get slid up front here as splash guards on each side, or if it gets really rough. But otherwise, yeah, really nice. We're making great progress. We have made it to a milestone of a kind. We are more than halfway there. 800 miles in a straight line since Mauritius. We're 150 miles south of the southern tip of Madagascar, which is another milestone, getting to the southern tip, the longitude of it anyway. And in a straight line, we have 700 miles to go to Richards Bay. I doubt we'll do it in a straight line, probably another 800. So it'll take us another week or so. But all is good so far. Let's just see how the next couple of days go. Our chart shows we were now halfway between Réunion and Richards Bay. But of course, we started in Mauritius, so we were over halfway there, with speeds ranging from 4 knots when sliding back on a wave to almost 9 knots when surfing, with a little help from favorable current. That's an hour later or so, and there's our problem child, Marin Athena, 5 miles away, as promised, and I'll go outside and show you. Now, it's getting a little gloomy. clouds coming over. Up there, 5 miles away, it's Mauritius, big tanker. We are rocking and rolling here. It's getting a little bit more lively. And, waves are getting a little bit bigger, throwing us around, but hey, it's going to get a lot worse later tonight. Here's the ECMWF European model on PredictWind for midnight, showing the large red area we would be in, but happy to have avoided the acceleration zone below Madagascar, where gusts well over 30 knots could be expected. Oh, we're near the end of the day now, and it's getting overcast, so the lovely cobalt sea has turned to a steely grey. I'm sitting in my favourite place, braced against the other side of the cockpit, and the waves are picking up and slew us around. Even a little wave like that. Every now and again they try to come into the cockpit, but they're not managing yet. I'm sure they will later tonight. Here's a slightly bigger one. None of them are breaking yet. Some of them are cresting, but anything serious. Again, later tonight, we will almost certainly have breaking waves smashing against us, which is always interesting. It's very difficult to sleep through. Sounds like a bomb went off when they hit you. Here's one just wanting to crest. Whoa, and it's gonna skew us around. Wind vane gets us back. Ready for the next one. And so it goes on, endlessly. It's fun though. That's what I came for. Alright. It's almost dark. This is our final setup with the auxiliary solar panel as a splash guard. I'm going to try to stand up and show you the sails. We've got the main down completely. Moved over off the pole now, caught, and we've got the 100% working jib at about a third. And we can easily drop the storm sail and just go with the jib, or we can furl the jib and just stick with the storm sail. It wasn't much of a sunset, it was a little cloudy when it happened, but it's pretty nice now, although the camera makes it look much brighter. And look what we have up here. A lovely crescent moon. Sweet, finally. Yes, my warm, dry, safe buck. But of course we would not escape the shipping traffic quite yet. These screens are at 11 p.m. when it looks like I might be in the clear, midnight when new traffic appeared coming our way, and at 1 a.m. the ship below us set off the AIS. I was pretty sure we were going to have shipping problems tonight, and sure enough, there's a ship way too close to us, but he's taken avoidtive action. Let me show you him. There he is, all lit up in white as a warning. He's passing us port to port because he changed course. Now we lose our direction, but there's another one in front of us, behind him. He's called Minerva Olympia, the one that is still a problem, but still a long way away. Oh, let's turn this annoying thing off. Is Hua Shanglong going to China? But I think we're going to miss him. We are doing 270 degrees at about 5 knots, and he is going to go past us starboard to starboard. So I think we'll be good, but I'm going to stay awake for a little bit longer just to make sure. It's 1 a.m. in the morning. You can see here why it's warning and alarming. He's well within my 2-mile alarm range. And there goes Minerva Olympia. You can see its bow light, stern light, and the red port light, because we passed port to port. Nice. And here is ship number 2 that's within our alarm distance. This is Sheng Long. But we're going to pass safely starboard to starboard. I had a little chat with them about it. After this, no more ships, and I will go to sleep. It's 1:30 a.m. You can see that all the other ships are below us now. So we've mostly crossed the shipping lane, but there's always an oddball, so I have to depend on the AIS alarm now, like on these last 2 ships. But I need to sleep. And now it's 2:40, and the whole thing's starting again. Wind's cranked back up. I have to put the jib reversed, back the jib hard, get the boat down. And I got 2 more lemon boats, ships to deal with. At least one here that's a problem. As forecast, the wind had picked up well into the 20s, but for a reason that will be explained later, sea change was not handling well at all. Indeed, here I have the small staysail, which I also refer to as my storm sail, backed to windward to keep the bow down and the boat from hunting upwind under the power of the quarter of the remaining jib. Meanwhile, this was the 3rd problem ship of the night, way too close for comfort, passing starboard to starboard as we agreed on the radio, but I even had to hand steer for a while to be sure of missing it, and zoomed in I could see the cabin lights. I eventually clipped into my jacklines and went forward to drop the small staysail, and we spent the rest of the night under just a sliver of the jib out. Oh, I've woken up to a steely grey morning, November 6th, Wednesday, and yeah, you know, the wind was not as bad as I thought last night. It was the ships and having to stay awake and avoiding them. Oh yeah, I just feel run over this morning. Here's a nice wave. They've formed up into good waves. These oh yeah, look at this one behind you. That's a good 2-3 meter wave. Anyway, yeah, okay. Oh, nice surf. Lovely. And again. Yeah, we like that. Anyway, it turns out the reason that the wind pilot was struggling to steer with either the storm jib or just the regular jib was that one of the lines had come loose. Line that connects that pulley. And so it was riding on the backup line, which is much longer, and so it was all sloppy. I put this line on to tighten it all up, and now she's steering well. So it was not a fair test of the storm jib. I wish I'd noticed it at 1 a.m. instead of 4 a.m. Yeah, it's almost as if last night wasn't bad enough. Here are 2 more ships coming down, chasing me, aiming right at me. It just doesn't end. They keep coming and going. So it's quite funny actually. These 2 ships have been chasing me since 7:30. It's 12:30 now, and they have only caught up 12 miles, and they've diverged in course enough that they're going to miss me. Even better. Alright, it's Wednesday, November the 6th. That was a very rough night. Ships, and a problem with the sails, and it turned out it was the wind pilot. One of the cords holding one of the pulleys, holding the lines that go to the tiller, had broken. It wasn't steering right, and I only figured it out at about 4 a.m. Anyway, I got some sleep, and the jib was up sort of. We were doing just great, and now we're doing even better. We got almost the entire jib up. No need for anything more. We're doing 5 to 7. Another beautiful, gorgeous day. Man, it just goes on and on when you're not fighting ships and crazy situations at night. Anyway, this will only last for so long. Each of these systems seems to last for 2 or 3 days, and then it's gone and we need to deal with the next one.
In the next episode, having safely passed the southern tip of Madagascar, I continue due west into the Mozambique Channel, a body of water and weather that provides its own set of challenges.